Hello everyone, I'm Shreeya, member of Guindy Times, the official campus magazine of CEG, SAP and ACT. I'm delighted to present to you the Intern Diaries, a series which provides insights about the internship process. Today we have with us Abhinand, a final year IT student, and Aditya, a fourth year computer science student. Both of them have successfully completed their internship at Citicorp. So, can you guys introduce yourself?
I'm Aditya. I'm from fourth year computer science engineering. So I did my internship at Citicorp under the domain Trade and Treasury Solutions under the institutional group clients at Chennai office at Citi. Yeah. Hi.
And hi, I'm Abhinand, and I'm currently pursuing my final year of IT. I interned in Citi as well, and I interned in the production support business unit of Citi. And so, yeah, I'm excited for this interview.
Okay, so can any one of you just tell us about Citi?
Aditya, would you like to take that?
Yeah. So Citicorp, we entered at Citicorp, which is basically the technological part for the Citibank services in Chennai. So it focuses on delivering products based on for making various services accessible to other people. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you guys land up at your internship at Citi?
So yeah, I mean, so when I was in my third year, companies started coming in for the final year placements. And among these companies, a couple companies were also offering 2-month internships to third year students. So before this itself, we were briefed about this internship season by our seniors. So we were quite prepared for it. And Citi was one of the companies which was offering a 2-month internship. And so we had an initial screening criteria where they shortlisted students based on their CGPA and other factors. And after that, we had an online round, which had an English assessment, a coding round, and so on. And after the online round, again, that was an elimination round. And we had a technical round after that. And finally, we had an HR round, after which they sent out the final list of students.
Adding on to what Abhinand said, we had an elaborate online test consisting of verbal, analytical, and other quantitative skills, as well as two coding questions, I think, and a few output questions. So I think we all needed to be focused on all of the fields in order to land the internship.
That was nice. So what was your preparation strategy for all these intern tests, and what kind of resources really helped you?
I mean, yeah, as I said before the internship season started, we had a couple online meets with our seniors where they shared their own internship experiences. So that was very useful. And of course, we had Intern Diaries from Guindy Times where we could watch a lot of people talk about their own experiences. So that was also very helpful. But I feel for me, two resources which were very useful were Geeks for Geeks and LeetCode. Mainly because if we look at Geeks for Geeks, we have a lot of archives which are company specific. So that was very useful because the probability is very high that companies repeat the same pattern of questions they've asked in previous years. So before a particular company comes, if we're familiar with the kind of questions that are going to be asked, it's going to be very useful to us. So Geeks for Geeks archives was very useful to me. And then again, I kind of spent a month solving LeetCode questions. So I started off with easy and then medium and so on. So I highly suggest that anyone watching this video would do the same as well, because going progressively would be very useful.
I followed the ACM CG student chapters. The code, there was a program which was articulately designed for about 40 days, detailing what coding questions and theory we had to study every day. with around, I think, tests every 2 to 3 weeks. So I think it was a methodical approach from like basic topics like array and linked list to very complex topics like dynamic programming, graphs, and trees. So it was actually a really nice initiative. So I followed the ACM codes, ACM's code.
Okay, so really nice to listen to from you guys. So I think people who are watching this out there would really try doing all that. And so, what do you think would actually help your resume to stand out?
The one main thing that's actually I felt during my City interview was that they had a lot of emphasis on my projects. Like a very large part of my technical interview was primarily focused only on my projects. So I would suggest you do as many projects as possible. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of professors in your department who are involved in a lot of active research. So maybe you could go approach them and you could ask them for a problem statement that you could work with. And if you do a project under a particular professor, that would add a lot of value to your resume. And it would give you a lot of content to talk about during your interview as well, because they really like to focus on your projects and ask a lot of questions regarding it. And then again, at the same time, I would suggest you don't add too many things to your resume that you aren't sure about. Because if you add something in your resume and you don't really understand what's going on in it, that will reflect very negatively on you.
Yeah.
So make sure that whatever you write in your resume is something that you're very confident about and you can properly speak about it. So these two aspects are very important when you make your resume.
Yeah, I will add to emphasize on the same, because in my 40-minute interview, about 20 to 25 minutes was like focused solely on my project. And I would like to say like there should be like minimum of 2 projects. Your like the CGPA, it adds more value to the CGPA. And if you're adding any skill to your resume, please like try to have some level of expertise so that you can answer any question that they ask in that field. Like for example, if you know any language, please be sure to please be very particular in mentioning the level of expertise you have in that field, because even if you have if you want to add any language to your resume, even if you are a beginner in that, please don't shy to just mention it as a beginner in that language. For example, if you are very proficient in C and C++, just mention it as I am like proficient, or I am at an intermediate level in C and C++. And if you are a beginner in Python, please mention that you are just a beginner in Python and you are trying out stuff in that language.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because I think you can't bluff around with your resume, so you have to be to the point. So my next question to you guys is, what do you think are the key points you need to keep in mind while attending an interview? In the sense, probably like a HR or something. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so for City in specific, the interview rounds are major elimination rounds. So if you looked at the technical interview, there were around 500 students. And then coming to the HR interview, the number of students who qualified came down to a very low level. And then again, from the HR round, many people got rejected, which I don't think is seen in a lot of companies, because usually when they come to the HR round, it's understood that they've made it into the company. But that's not true for City. So even the HR round is very important in City, and you need to do something that could make you stand out from the rest of the applicants, because we'll have some 30 students giving the HR round, and if they all sound the same, then the odds of you getting selected are very less. So you should be talk about things that could make you stand apart from the rest. Like for example, read about the CEO, or read about what the company's been doing in the past few years, and educate yourself on how the company does its business and how City does business. So if you really familiarize yourself with what the company does and what you expect from the company, and you talk about those things in your HR round, it could actually create a great impression on the interviewer, and that could truly improve your odds of getting selected. And of course, not only this, your confidence also plays a very important role, because not only the content that you put through, the way you talk about things is also very important. So make sure you're confident about whatever you talk.
So my advice or suggestion to people who are attending interviews, like work your way towards achieving like if they ask you a problem, please don't rush to the most optimal solution you have. Like, work your way towards finding an optimal solution. Like start with the most basic brute force approach you have, and work your way towards finding the most optimal solution. Because and make sure to articulate every point you have in mind while coding. Like for example, just say what you are thinking plainly to the interviewer, because he might be interested in what you are thinking while you are doing that approach.
Okay, yeah. That was pretty nice of you guys. So, how do you think the work-life balance is at City? Like, is your internship online or offline? Like, most often.
So, our internship was online, though we really wanted to be offline. And it came at a very bad time for us because we were in our 6th semester and we had our end semester exams going on in the middle of the internship. And we just had way too many things to focus on at the same time. So though we had a lot of college pressure as well, if we look at City in particular, the work-life balance was really good because we had a lot of time to work on a project. And I mean, even before working on a project, we had a lot of time to gain knowledge as well, because for a lot of us, these were topics that we haven't been familiar with before, and we had to learn a lot of things from scratch. So we had a lot of time to actually delve into the topics and do our research and then move on with the project. And apart from the technical aspects of the internship, we had so many networking events. We had a lot of meetings with like the higher officials, senior members of City. So the internship wasn't just focused on the project and the technical aspects. So we had a lot of things going on, which was very fun. And it took the stress off the project and everything.
Yeah. For me, it was a really pleasant experience because my mentor was so open to suggestions which we put forth, and he was actually ready to take calls at even 9 or 10 in the evening. And he used to give us so many preparation materials for doing a particular task. I think the balance was really good. And when we had an exam, they actually wanted us to focus more on the exams, and we could postpone the work till we are like free from the exam.
Okay, that was really nice, I think, from City, because they actually let you do your work and also, give you the time to balance it out. So, what's your advice to your juniors?
So, my main advice would be to prepare beforehand itself. So if you work on these things at the last minute, of course it's gonna stress you out. So just like keep like a 1 month buffer time where you can actually explore coding questions, explore programming, and take your own time to learn a lot of things. So that would really be beneficial. And another thing is don't stress yourself out too much because of these internships, because there are a lot of opportunities. There are so many companies that are coming, and if you don't get a particular company, that doesn't mean you're not gonna get into any company. So I mean, speaking from experience, I had rejections from around 3 to 4 companies in where I came till the last round and I got rejected, and then I ended up getting into City. So don't stress yourself out, and it'll all fall into place.
I would actually like to add a point that the interviewer is actually trying to recruit you into their company. They have no purpose in rejecting you. Like, the main aim of them is to actually add you to their company so that you add more value to them. And like, for example, in terms of preparing resume, please don't use like all jargon words like I want to add value to the company. Like, the most important thing while doing an intern is to learn and not to add value to any institution or like company you're going. The most important thing is to learn.
So, what's your opinion on the Intern Diaries series 5.0?
Oh, I love Intern Diaries. I've probably watched every single Intern Diary video so far.
Yeah.
I think I've covered every video in both of the series. And personally, it was very comforting because when during my internship season was very stressful, and sometimes when I felt lost, I would watch these videos for the particular companies that I would be attending to, and it gave me a lot of confidence because I could directly watch people who got into the company talk about their experiences. And sometimes it was also a source of motivation because it got me excited the kind of things I would experience as an intern in those companies. So the Intern Diaries is a great initiative by Guindy Times, and it should keep going on.
So like we were able to see our seniors, like we all watched them like work like really close, and we watched them talk nice about their intern and working environment. So it was really nice to learn how the internship period went for all our seniors. So it was really a nice experience watching them.
Okay, so I'm really excited about to see, because you guys have watched Intern Diaries and come here, and I just thank you for all your valuable insights. So thank you, Aditya and Abhinand, for coming today.
Thank you for having us as well. It was
Thank you.
very fun.
Thank you.